God, I haven't heard that sound in a minute. Weird. Welcome to the Ugly Truth. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Did everybody have a nice Father's Day? If you observed, of course. I had a great Father's Day because Daryl was gone from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Oh.
I sent him off to go golfing.
Oh, that's right. I kind of forgot.
You're like, hey, can we record on Monday? I'm like, yes.
Oh, sweet.
I was so glad
That
because
worked out.
I'm like, yeah, because Daryl, he goes, honestly, nothing was going out tomorrow anyway, yesterday. And I'm like, no, it's Father's Day and you should go do whatever you want to do. So he went off to golf with his dad and they had an amazing day. He came home. He's like, I had such a great day.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, he had such a good day.
I'm so glad.
Yes, he was a very, very happy. And then he passed out like a baby.
Right?
Love it. He was so tired, but he had a good time. So anyway, I hope everybody, I just binge listened to Taylor Swift and drank champagne and did laundry.
Yeah. I made a ginormous slab of ribs for my baby daddy.
Yes.
Yes, which he almost didn't make it until they were done because they do take a while.
Is he like the dad in A Christmas Story?
Kind of, sort of, yes.
You're like, don't eat it. It's not ready. You'll get worms.
Yeah. I mean, he was day drinking. So it was like, I was like, you better pace yourself, buddy. I'm like, if you're going to eat this 10-pound slab of ribs I'm making.
Fine, I'll make it.
Yeah, exactly. So I go in there and he's watching the baseball game and he had his glasses on and he thinks I can't see his eyes that are closed.
That
he
are
thinks
resting.
Like, let me just sit up and then I'll look like I'm watching the baseball game.
Wait, why don't you wear sunglasses while you're at it?
But then as soon as I walk in the room and make any noise, he starts tapping his feet. He's like, I was awake.
Oh,
I'm like, I don't care.
Just
I'm like,
take a nap.
It's fine.
Do whatever you want, sir.
Honest to God, I do not
fine.
care. I really don't care.
Speaking of eyes closed, you and I just discovered there's this horrible story that just came out of where again?
Yeah, I think it's in New York.
Was it?
Well,
where did the Titanic sink? I'm so bad.
Oh, well, it is. It definitely is in the Atlantic. It's like between New York and
England.
Yes, literally in the middle of nowhere. Like there is nothing close by.
Well, I mean, we know there's icebergs close by.
Exactly. It's very, very far, and it sunk very, very deep, like more than 12,000 feet deep.
That's why we can't get it.
It's so far down there.
They keep sending robots down there to take pictures of it.
I mean, and even the technology in this day and age still
Barely.
can barely get down there without imploding, because it's so freaking deep. But yeah.
Jeez.
So I wasn't even aware of this thing's existence. I didn't know you could tour.
I didn't either.
The wreckage of the
Is this
Titanic.
like a new thing?
I don't know. I mean,
Anyway.
I have no idea. So I just saw that there was breaking news this morning that the submarine that gives underwater tours of the sunken Titanic has gone missing during a recent expedition.
How many people were on that thing?
And so,
Does it say?
The Coast Guard, the U.S. Coast Guard say that there were 4 crew members and 1 tourist.
That's it? It's probably expensive.
It's a submarine. Yeah. I mean, they're little.
What if it's like a billionaire that we all know?
Oh, I'm sure it's going to be somebody like crazy. Well, it's got to be someone, like you said, somebody with money.
Yeah, there's no way. That's got to be so expensive.
The one lone civilian was Hamish Harding. He's a famed and rich British world explorer.
Oh, well, there you go. So, just like we thought.
Yeah, poor Hamish. You're dead, dude. What a way to go. Hamish?
Well, I mean, if they can find them.
Harding, who once paid top dollar for a ride in Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin rocket.
Okay, so he's a
rich guy.
Stuff.
Yeah, he's a guy. Yeah, he's a guy with endless money, and he likes to do these crazy.
And he's bored with life, and he's like, "What else can I do?"
Yeah, and so he's right?
Shark cages is schmark cages. I want to see.
Right.
I want to see the ends of the earth because I can afford it.
Right, exactly. Yeah, what can I do that nobody else on this planet can do and I can afford?
He's like Lance Bass, who wants to go to the moon and no one will take him.
Why? Why will no one take him?
I don't know. He's just like, please let me go to the moon. And everybody's like, no, Lance, you can't.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. He's funded everything. And I'm like, just make friends with Elon. He'll send you up there.
Elon doesn't care whose money he takes.
Yeah, he'll take your money and send you.
This thing cost $250,000 to go on this trip.
Well, chalk that up for one thing that I'll never have to worry about. I'm never going on it. No one's ever going to go.
I don't care if I had $250,000. I would not.
There are reasons why humans aren't there.
Thank you.
There are reasons.
Jerry doesn't get why I was super enthusiastic about becoming a scuba diver.
Yeah.
And I still think it's a great thing and it's a fun sport. But as I've gotten older, I have gotten so paranoid about killing myself. accidentally.
I know what you're saying.
You know, not on purpose.
No, I know.
I just feel like it's Russian roulette with me, you know.
Well, Stephanie,
I'm clumsy and, you know, I just...
not advisable for
No.
I'm afraid to go downstairs every day. I think I'm going to break something and die on my
Absolutely.
floor.
I do not no longer, you know, go zipping down anything quickly. If it doesn't have a handrail, I'm like, no.
Seriously. And it's not because we're old. It's just awkward and clumsy.
Awkward. So awkward. So
like, well, she was awkward. It's not surprising that she accidentally poked herself in the jugular with a pencil.
No one would be surprised if it happened to me. Yeah. We're talking about, this is so off topic, but you know, lately my hormones have been going in overload.
Yes.
And so every time it's my monthly thing, I get these weird fever blisters. In our youth, I used to get them on my lip where everybody would get them.
Yeah.
You know?
I always get them from wind and sun.
Same.
That's when I get them.
Right? Too much sun or too much wind, and I would get one.
And I would get a cold sore.
That is no longer the criteria.
Now it's just hormones.
And now it's and now they don't come on my lip; they come on like random parts of my face.
What's weird about that? I know.
So yeah, it
happens to me too. It's weird, and I hate it.
Thing on my face right now that is like literally taking over.
Do you want some Advil?
I've been taking it all weekend. I feel like my liver is like, enough. We can't. Do you not know NSTIs are bad for you?
Whatever. You know what? Somebody younger than me calmly and lovingly said, you know, because I said, I popped a Benadryl, blah, blah, blah. They were like, you know, they do say that Benadryl's not very safe anymore. And I'm like, yeah, it's not actually. And I don't remember the terms. It's a liver organ thing.
Well, yeah.
And I said, yeah, but it works. So I don't know.
People have their kids on Benadryl as like a routine.
Oh, no. See, I wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't either.
No.
In fact, I wanted to call CPS on somebody. And then I have a friend who works for CPS. And she's like, everybody does that, Stephanie.
They do?
She's like, you don't? And I'm like
no.
Because she was not at all offended. But I was like, that is so disturbing to me.
Although I will say this. When Daryl's daughter came out, she was struggling with one of the children would not sleep, just chill for a minute. And she had kept them up. And they just, the pressure of the plane, they just refused to sleep. And they drank
like will themselves.
They drank like 7 babas. You know how that is. When
kids
you're do that
desperate.
Crap. They're just like, please. And then the baby pooped for like 3 days straight.
Oh God.
But I said, when she was preparing to go home, I said, "Are you opposed to drugging children?" She's like, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Well, I don't know. I'm not saying that you have to do it. I'm just saying that, you know, maybe a little Benadryl might not be the worst thing.
No.
Used to be Triaminic."
I was literally about to say
they don't make that
they
anymore.
do not make it anymore. I was so disappointed when I had my second.
And you're like, where's the Triaminic?
I hunted
stuff
everywhere for it.
You could probably buy it in Mexico.
Probably. I don't sell it.
But you can't buy it here anymore.
I was like
it's a narcotic. I'm like, it is a lifesaver.
And it tastes good.
They'll drink it and then they'll sleep on the plane.
It's like sugar syrup.
God, with a little bit of, something in it.
Thank you.
Anyway, she goes, I'm not opposed to it. I'm like, well, I'm just saying maybe in the future, if you're struggling, you can just give them
We all justify it by saying that it helps their ears when you fly because babies' ears plug up when you fly.
Well, and that's exactly why they get irritated.
It's true.
It's hard for them.
Well, we know how to clear our ears when we get pressure. You know, we can
we blow in we
plug our nose and do all the things. Plus, we take Sudafed. We do all of the things.
All the things.
But we leave kids to like fend for themselves as though they don't need any assistance with these things.
Really hope you're all right, kid.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You can't tell me if anything's hurting you or bothering you.
Just scream.
Yeah,
scream. I don't know. Just give them drugs and let them rest. So speaking of flying, Daryl and I accompanied Daryl on a business trip, which I rarely do.
Never do.
I just like being alone in my house because it's so rare, But he was going to Austin, and I've never been to Austin, and I've always wanted to go to Austin.
Yeah, totally.
So I'm like, no, I'll go with you. I'll go. He's like, oh my God, okay. Which means,
oh God, he was so excited.
Which means,
sorry,
he's gonna we're gonna go to a nicer hotel. We're gonna, everything's better. And I was like, awesome. So. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see a ton of Austin because we didn't rent a car.
It was a short trip too, right?
It was a very short trip. It was like literally 48 hours.
Yeah.
But there was an artist there playing at Austin City Limits.
Who was it?
It was Ryan Adams and the Cardinals.
Oh, you guys love him. We
love him. I've seen Ryan Adams a couple of times, but the Cardinals is a band that he used to have many years ago, and then they kind of just split.
Yeah.
He's a little off, he's got mental health issues and he was an alcoholic he's been sober for like a little over a year.
Okay, good for him.
So I think that's why they decided, we can probably get back together because you're not going to blow us up.
Right.
Because he was on some heavy drugs back then.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
when he got really famous.
I don't know. I mean, he's always had addiction issues forever.
And then give somebody a little bit of money with an addiction issue, and it's like,
yeah. I mean, he just went and like before he got sober, he was doing some pretty crazy shit. Nothing, I mean, dangerous to himself, but he was just acting a little nutty and letting everyone see it. It was just not good.
Messy.
Social media is a bitch.
It is.
When you have problems. But anyway, so I was like, oh man, I love the Cardinals albums. I have like 3 of them and they're so good. They're very jam band. They're kind of like the Grateful Dead.
Okay.
They're not like his other stuff. Yeah, it's very psychedelic-y, long, instrumentally parts.
Got it.
You know, now
I hate shit like that.
I do too, actually.
Like the time I went to see Rush and I had to listen to Neil Peart play the drums for like
20 minutes.
19 minutes.
I can't.
I was like,
Red Hot Chili Peppers pulled that shit at Bottle Rock.
In fact, I told Jerry about that. He was so disappointed.
Oh, Stephanie, I was disappointed too.
Because he loves that band. Yeah.
Dude, I do too. And I wasn't excited about seeing them, but they're so good.
Not necessarily excited, but the fact that they were there. It's like, okay, well, here's a band I know.
I've never seen. I'd love to see it. And all they do is they literally turn their back on the audience and they're like jamming with each other. I'm like, what are you doing?
You can do this in practice anytime you want.
My point. But I knew what I was getting into. Right. I knew I was coming to see this. But the songs that they do have, I really love. And I was hoping that we wouldn't have too many instrumentals. But there was a couple. Not a lot, but there was a couple. They also played for almost 3 hours, which is
a
insane.
Long time. Okay, hello, Taylor Swift.
Yes. And it's Austin City Limits.
So fun.
That is iconic. So many people have played the Austin City Limits. You can watch it on PBS.
Yeah. I've seen it.
Amazing.
I mean, not in person. I've seen, but I know, yeah.
I mean, anybody who's anyone, if you say, hey, would you like to book it, Austin City Limits, they'll go immediately yes.
Yes.
Duran. Willie Nelson's played there 15 times. I mean, just any legend.
It's iconic, yes.
Yes, it's like Red Rocks or the Hollywood Bowl.
Got it.
So I was excited to go because there's only 2,700 seats. It's a small venue. So I was so
love venues like that.
Loved it. The whole experience was great. I personally enjoyed the show very much. And I'll tell you about the couple that we literally had to run away from.
Oh, God.
But in general, so Daryl's like, okay, so we got a great room. We were within walking distance of the Austin City Limits arena or place. So he's like, is there anything you want to do while I'm working? And I said, I think I'd love to get a facial. Yeah. He always says do it, and I never do it.
Right.
I just kind of hide in the room and watch Netflix.
Right. Order room service.
Yeah, and order room service. But
I love doing that, though.
That's part of the negative, and I'll tell you about that as well. So he goes, okay, great. So I he booked it for me, a hydrofacial.
Okay.
I'm going to book one for you, by the way. You're going to love it.
Yeah.
And he's like,
I'm so self-conscious about my skin. But
Stephanie, you'll feel like $1 million when you're done.
Okay.
I've had 2 of them, well, more than 2, but I've had 2 really good ones. Uh-huh. And this one that I had in Austin was the best hydrofacial I've literally ever had in my life. Oh my gosh. It was worth every dime.
How bougie are you?
It was I did not feel bougie, but it felt so good.
Well, that's one of the things that about getting like a random facial at a hotel.
Yes.
Especially in a city where you don't live.
Yes.
Nobody knows you.
Nope.
Nobody's around.
Nope.
Yeah, you can literally be anonymous.
Now,
and bougie.
Unlike most people, I don't understand the spa experience because I don't do it.
Well, I don't want to be naked, for one.
Well, I have an awkward moment, obviously. Duh. From the spa. I'll tell you about it later. But the hydrofacial experience was amazing. The woman was amazing. Now the only thing is at the end, it was so good. And she said, okay, so now we're finished. She's like, now I'm just going to go ahead and do a quick foot massage. I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, this isn't a hydrofacial. Yeah. What are you doing? So and everything's heated. So like I'm literally laying like on a heated massage table. Right. And then all the blankets are heated when they put them on you. And I'm like, I'm going to have a hot flash. I thought for sure. I didn't. So she rips the bottom half of the blankets off, and now I'm just exposed. My hands are exposed, and I'm feeling very vulnerable because it's dark in there. And I'm like, is this extra? Like, what is this?
Like, I don't want this if
this
is optional.
Her touching me. And I was like, how do I not recoil? I was really worried. that I was going to be like, no.
I would have too. I probably would have been like, no, it's fine. I would have made it worse.
But I was paralyzed with fear because I'm like, well, maybe this is just a part of it and I just don't know.
Right.
So I just laid there
because we don't know anything when it comes to shit like this.
I never do this.
Me either. I wouldn't have known what to do.
So in my brain, I'm like, all right, you know what, Jamie? Just let her do it because this is just what people do.
Like, did I shave my toes this morning? I hope so.
So I'm like, all right, fine. And I did bathe before I went because obviously.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, but I've been under hot blankets and I'm like, I was worried.
Jamie, enough said. I would have immediately been like freaking the fuck out.
So luckily she used a warm, wet towel to use. She did not put her bare hands on my bare
foot.
Yes. And so
God, you can't say it. I know. I shouldn't have said it. That was aggressive.
But she didn't.
Foot.
But she didn't do anything really, really intense. It was just like a calm, just rubbing them down with the wet towel, and then she was done with it.
Okay.
And I was like, okay,
maybe
enough
it's like
already.
a detox or a purification.
Perhaps there was a lot of lymphatic detoxing going on, so it's possible. Maybe. So
we don't know about these things.
She goes, all right. She goes, well, I'm going to excuse myself so that you can get up, put your rope back on, blah, blah, blah. And then, I will be waiting for you out front. And I said, okay. So when I come out, she has a glass of lemon water for me.
Yum.
And what's cool is that when you're before and after your service, there's a lounge where you sit while you wait. Mm-hmm. So she walks you to the lounge and you can stay there as long as you want. There's tea, there's water, there's candy,
it's just like a chill spot, right?
And it's very dimly lit. And there's like curtains separating every chair.
So you don't even have to like look at other people
unless they're sitting directly across from you, which I had.
Of course.
But she was really cool. I saw them the night before when we were having dinner. The couple was there, but her husband came in first. And so I'm sitting there with my little water in my robe. And he comes in and he looks like a basketball player. He's huge.
Oh, maybe he was.
He comes in, he sits down. He goes, this is really the best way to start a morning, isn't it? And I'm like, yes. I'm like, I don't know. This is my first day.
And I don't talk to people.
And I don't. I have a robe on right now. This is so weird. And so do you. Clearly.
100%.
Hilarious. And then luckily the wife comes in and she comes in. She's like, how was your massage? She goes, it was beautiful. Like he's very into.
You can tell he obviously is used to this type of.
He loves self-care. And I was like, and he was a beautiful man.
Godspeed. Yeah. I mean,
she was stunning too. And I'm like, God, I feel like a troll right now. But I mean, they were lovely. And we had a great time. I relaxed after she got there. It was fine. I didn't think he was picking up. It was nothing like that.
No. I know what you mean.
I was just like, I felt dumb.
Jamie, I am so with you.
I felt dumb. And I'm like sitting there with my little melty cube. Just trying to find anything.
I know. I don't know what's worse. Awkward. I don't know if alcohol is appropriate or not appropriate in these situations.
No, there was no alcohol to be had.
Because sometimes if you drink, you say things that are even worse when you're an UGG.
Oh,
alcohol can make your filter kind of go away.
Goodbye.
And then you say really dumb things.
Oh, my God. So then I'm like, I think I can just leave. I've already paid. Everything's done.
Right.
So I guess I can just leave. So I got up and I went into the locker room and you have a little digital lock and I got everything and I got dressed and then I left and I was like, my skin looks so good.
You're like, awesome.
It looks so good. I was like, I have got to do this more. It's so nice. I mean,
people do this like weekly.
I would not do it weekly. That's a lot.
Yeah.
But I would do.
Well, I don't know how much they are. I mean,
you
don't have to confess, but
no, this one was $270.
Oh yeah. Oh, but it was do it every week.
It was for an hour. But to me, it's like
you could do it once a month.
I would love to do that once a month.
Yeah,
they do, and then she did some LED light therapy, which apparently is really good for your skin.
Yay!
And so I looked it up because I was like, does anybody in my town do this?
Right.
I mean, I don't know.
Do they?
A couple.
Oh, it's rare.
It's kind of new. Now, have you ever seen those masks that you can buy and then that you look silly and then you turn on the light and you can like practically kill yourself, blind yourself?
Totally, yeah.
Okay, that's LED light
I've
therapy.
seen it on TV. I've not seen it in real life, but yes.
So you can buy those. They're like $500, LED light therapy, but they're not nearly as good as when you go to get it done.
Right, because they have the professional grade ones.
Of course. And so she did the professional grade and she goes, is this too bright? I'm like, well, it's pretty bright, but I'm just keeping my eyes closed because I mean, it was like really light.
Yeah.
But she goes, there's no UV.
You would think that you would put something over your eyeballs.
One would think. But I mean, and she did. Well, she did. But it just was still pretty bright.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
But apparently, if you do the LED light therapy, it literally will rejuvenate the collagen. Like it does. It's like this new thing. They're like, men do it for baldness because it will rejuvenate hair growth.
Oh, God, maybe I should buy one.
Well, maybe.
My face, Jerry's head.
Exactly.
I mean,
Can you get? Do they have helmets?
I'll figure out a way to rig it.
Anyway, it was the best. One of the best parts of the 2 days we were there.
Well, I'm so glad that you got over your fear and you conquered it, and now I can do it, and I don't have to worry.
Yes. Definitely. Okay, so the food in Austin's not good.
Oh,
I did not. Everything is very heavy.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. It is Texas.
We went to a steakhouse for the first night, and the service next level, of course.
Oh, good. Well, at least there's that.
The steaks,
because I can't do both.
No.
Bad
they
food
were nice.
and bad service.
No, they were very sweet. It was towards the end of the night. They did kind of forget about us, but I kind of don't care about that.
I don't mind if it's an hour, but
it wasn't an hour. I mean, it was like an extra. She's like, she apologized.
Okay,
she's
good.
like,
she noticed.
Yeah, she's like, I'm so sorry. I thought I got your order and I didn't. So I mean, but it was. It's
fine.
I'm so forgiving. I just don't care.
It just depends on the kind of. So she acknowledged it, which would have immediately made me feel better.
Yes.
I don't like servers who just assume that it's all right to leave you and forget about you for 20 or 30 minutes and then come back like everything's gravy. And I'm like, where the fuck have you been?
Where have you been? Were you on a break?
Yeah, and not only that, but I mean, as long as I'm, like you said, if I have a libation, I'm okay.
Yeah, we did.
But don't let me sit there with an empty libation for 40 minutes and I'm like, okay, where's my fucking next drink, or I'm gonna get pissed.
Well, exactly. And the other thing is
no food.
Well, true. We ordered way too much food. That's the other thing.
That's all right.
Servings are huge.
Right.
Huge. They're like, here we have our signature rolls, and it was like freaking an entire pack of rolls.
Oh, Jesus.
With butter. And I'm like, who's gonna eat all of this?
I hope they give this shit away to like the homeless camps and stuff or whatever around there.
Well, I mean, one would hope, but then I ordered like a burrata thing, and it was like, we got a half a loaf of bread with it. And I said, what is up?
I thought burrata was like...
Burrata is cheese.
Yeah, cheese
and it came, and it was delicious.
Basil and tomatoes.
It was, well, no.
That's caprese.
You can have it like that, but no, this was
burrata's just the cheese, like the round, and it's
but it came like with honey and Marcona almonds.
Oh my God,
and then when you put it on the bread, and you eat it. And it was so good. I ate like half of it because Daryl can't eat it.
Well, and then you're full. Why can't he eat it?
He's lactose.
Oh, so am I.
Yeah, and he would.
But there's certain things I will suffer for.
Yeah, he would have suffered for it at home, but we're in. He had meetings all the next day.
Oh, gotcha.
And he would have been suffering.
Got it. No, not
so
worth it.
He's like, I can't eat it. I'm like,
I won't do it at work. Yeah, you're right. 100%.
So I
even question myself when somebody says to go to sushi at lunch. I'm like,
you're like, yeah. So it's like
bad can happen.
I ate like half of it, and I'm like, okay, we ordered steak dinners, so I'm like, I'm gonna kind of
can't keep eating bread.
Right. I stopped eating the bread.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll
be
only
full.
eating the cheese. And I'm like, the cheese is good without the bread. I don't need, and the bread was barely toast. Like, it was like, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And so she comes back. She goes, is everything good? And we're like, yeah, it was really delicious because we ordered a crab cake and stuff. And she goes, was there something wrong with the burrata? And I'm like, no, why? She goes, well, you didn't even eat it. And I'm like, no, I ate the cheese, but you gave me like a half a loaf of bread. And I'm just like, I can't eat all this bread.
And you want me to eat my entree?
She's like, we just want to make sure you're satisfied. And I'm like, I'm 100% satisfied. It is delicious. Thank you so much for asking. She goes, okay, I just want to make sure. And I'm like, look, I know this is a waste of food, but y'all got to stop giving us loaves of bread.
Right? But that's
for everything.
I mean, maybe they have the menus designed for appetizers are supposed to be for like 4.
Maybe.
And I mean, they could tell you that. I like restaurants.
It would have been nice.
Who have like half portions or small portions or whatever.
But I've like never been here. So
it's Texas.
The steak. So everything's a la carte because it's a steakhouse.
Okay.
So we ordered mashed potatoes, and then we ordered sauteed mushrooms, which are my most favorite.
I love it.
So I was like, oh, maybe we should get the broccolini, some kind of green. And he's like, no, let's get the mushrooms. They'll be so good. I'm like, okay.
I love mushrooms, though. We talked about our love for mushrooms.
So good. They come out. First of all, it's a ton of food.
Right.
Our steaks are like bigger than 2 of my hands put together. I got a bone-in filet.
Bone-in filet?
It was delicious.
I've never heard of a bone-in filet.
Which is why I ordered it.
I would have too.
It was very, very good.
Yeah.
Daryl ordered some other filet.
Okay.
And his was very good too. He thought his was charred too much. And I'm like, coming from the man who doesn't char shit. And I said, I'll trade you.
I didn't know he had a charless grilling habit.
It is something that
that is my thing. Like,
it's a sensitive topic.
Okay, because he's like, I did char it.
He goes, if I charred it the way you like it, everything would be overcooked.
No.
And I'm like, challenge accepted.
You do
it.
All
Let's
right.
see. But anyway, like the other night, I
butter
said,
is your friend.
I go, can you please grill this chicken for me? I want to make a chicken Caesar salad. He goes, yeah. So he goes, I'm going to butterfly it. I'm like, all right, cool. So we'll have big, flat, charred chicken. So he brings it back and he goes, okay, here you go. I'm like, thanks. So it's covered in foil. So he goes off to do something. And I open it up and I'm like, what, did he boil it out there? There's
it's white.
There's nothing on this. And then he comes down. He goes, so how's the chicken? I'm like, do you really want me to tell you? Or do you want me to just say it's fine?
Right. Well,
and he goes, what do you mean? I go, you know what I mean. And he's like,
where are the grill marks,
he
man?
goes, you realize that it is a flat grill. I'm like, what does that even mean?
It just means it's not hot enough, dude.
He's like, it was 500 degrees. No. Stephanie, you and I,
right.
Look, we've had
done and
clearly
done.
You're saying what I said, so you know.
Jerry can do the char, but he cannot find the sweet spot. Like, so
okay.
and then it's medium. And I'm like, I prefer my steaks almost rare.
Yeah.
And so, but I have figured it out. So that's why I just take over.
Isn't
and then
that funny? I can do it too.
He's like, but I'm supposed to be the grill. I'm like, then do it right.
When Daryl is out of town and I grill, it's so fucking good. And he's just like, oh, good job, honey. I'm like, yeah, thanks.
Yeah. But you can't take away their manhood or emasculate them by doing it on the regular.
This is what I told him. And I challenge everybody out there who has a man who's very techie. He's very techie.
He is.
He relies on apps to tell him everything about the grill. It's Bluetoothy, so he can look. He's got the thermometer that pops up on his app saying the meat is 130 degrees.
Yeah.
So he's not using his instincts in his hands to look at it.
It's like scientifical for him.
He really loves the app thing. And so the other day we were in the car and I said, look, and of course it came out of left field. And I said, because I was probably having this full conversation in my brain.
Which we do.
And I said, you know what I was thinking? Perhaps that I would really encourage you to not use any technology when you just grill food.
Yeah.
Just grill it and just wing it and see what happens.
Right?
I bet
you might surprise yourself, dude.
This is the same thing where I've told him, you don't need Waze. You know where we're going. We've been there a million times. He's like, I do it for the traffic. Well, I'm like, it doesn't matter. I know you say that, but you need to have confidence. I know you can do it. I know you can do it.
I was just about to say, that's like, it's a thing for him that it's reassuring.
Yes.
And he'll never go wrong.
Exactly.
So
I just want him to have some more confidence in himself.
I feel you. You know what? Jerry does the same thing to me. He'll say something about, oh, that's not done yet. It's going to be too flubbery or flubbery or whatever that he likes. And I'm like, I do it by touch. I literally can do it with my fingers or a fork and tell when something's done.
Agreed. So anyway, the veggies were not good. They were heavily sauced.
That sucks.
And I was like, okay.
Well, now you know, when you go to a steakhouse in Texas, do not order the vegetables. They don't care about them. They are literally an afterthought.
Exactly. So I'm going to order salad next time. How hard can that be? It'll be romaine. Whatever.
You know what? Do you think this is weird?
And I'm sure that there are really good places there.
Oh, absolutely.
But the food is just really heavy. It's heavy.
I wonder if, this is kind of off the beaten path, but it reminded me, I belong to this In-N-Out Facebook group that I just literally joined recently. I don't know why.
Interesting.
And so this guy posted on there, I ordered this and my old lady, not old, O-L lady, ordered this, and he posted pictures and I couldn't resist. And I never comment on shit like this, but I was like, you know what? I'm like, calling your wife, girlfriend, fiance, partner, whatever she is so disrespectful.
It is.
To say that. I'm like, seriously, and I think I left it at that. He wrote back and he called me a Karen and told me to go eat a salad.
What?
And basically was like, yo, go complain to a manager kind of thing.
Oh, he did all the barbs that are supposed to trigger women.
And it didn't trigger me at all.
He called you a Karen and fat. Oh, how brilliantly creative.
And so I'm like, honestly, so I actually left it alone because I thought, his reply says way more.
Exactly why he calls her an old lady. What a moron.
Like, is that a thing? I'm like, I've
never heard a man call anyone an old lady.
I have in the past.
Well, I mean, yes. Recently I have
Coon's age ago. That shows my age. But no, a long time ago, there were those men. Now, I have never had a man that called me that as his person, but I've heard other men say, oh, my old lady or whatever. And I've always found it offensive.
You're like, why are you saying that?
Even before we came into the 22nd century, whatever century we're in now.
Yeah.
I just can't do it. You know, and I'm like, I wonder if
it would make me go. It would make me bristle a bit.
Yeah, it bristled me, and I'm like, I wonder if Texas. Did you find it to be kind of back-ass words compared to us?
No, and I will tell you why. Because Austin is literally the only county, town, whatever that is blue. It's blue. And so, in fact,
interesting.
When I was getting my facial, we weren't talking politics by any means, but we were just talking about, I said, I really didn't know what to expect in Austin. I was really excited. I've heard about, Music Row. I've heard about, there's a new comedy store there that I really wanted to go to, which I couldn't get tickets to because it was sold out, but that's okay. I was really excited about being here. And she said, she goes, basically what Texas calls Austin is we're the blueberry and tomato soup. And I went, I totally understand what you're saying. I'm like, all right. So it's very politically comfortable. Good. You would not feel anybody. That's why a lot of people are flocking there.
Yeah.
Because it's the one place where they can enjoy Texas and not have to deal with Texas.
Right. Well, not only that, but I have to say this.
True.
There are we were talking about this the other day about California in general, and how a friend of mine, we were both born and raised in California. We've never lived anywhere else, but he has family that lives in Deep South.
Okay.
And how that sometimes goes when they come to visit, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It's just different, right? Mm-hmm. And so I said, I've always leaned, I've always been kind of fiscally conservative. Yeah. Not hardcore.
Right.
But a little bit. And so there's certain things about California politics that always kind of like, some of it bugs me a little bit. So I feel like that part of Texas might be the happy medium, because I need you to be liberal. I need it to be like
you need to respect women and people and minorities.
Oh my God. And Uber, not like a little. Like,
no, you need to you need to treat them as if they're just your normal human.
Thank you.
Yeah, I get it.
But at the same time, I also don't want my streets to look like San Francisco's become, where businesses are bailing because it's become so.
Okay, I will say this is the thing. So in that aspect, this is what I noticed about Austin.
That's too far for me.
Okay, the Austin airport to me is a little bit of a toilet. I didn't really think it was very beautiful.
Did it remind you of like when we went to Utah that time?
Yes. It's awful. Just not great.
Salt Lake City Airport was the worst.
Yeah, and I haven't been back, and I have no idea. Daryl doesn't say much about Salt Lake City's airport. It might be a little bit better. I don't know. The Austin airport,
it's not a source of pride for them.
Just feels like a bit of a hot mess.
Yeah.
It's very humid there. I don't know. It was just, I was like, in fact, when we were waiting for our luggage, there's music playing. They have live music playing because they're known for their country. It's a mecca there.
Absolutely.
So there's live country music playing somewhere. I couldn't find it, but it was there. Always.
Huh. Interesting.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
It did smell like Pirates of the Caribbean, and I think it's because of the humidity.
Like the musty kind of.
It was very musty smelling, which it's an airport, but still, it's not. I mean, it's like cement. It's just not super updated.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It wasn't like the thing that they seemed to care about.
No.
Like when you fly in, it's just literally a place to fly in and out of.
Yeah, just get your shit and get out, basically.
That's too bad, because I like airports when they're
this one's not. It's not. We ordered a coffee and it was disgusting. So they don't know how to make espresso. It's okay.
I'm telling you, what for the city that's so terrible right now, San Francisco has like the best fucking airport on the planet.
I agree.
I love it.
SFO is amazing.
Well, I haven't been there in a couple of years. But
we were just there. We were there in November, and it's fantastic.
Yes,
fantastic.
You can eat. You can do things. You can.
It's exciting.
Get good coffee. I mean,
everything.
Yeah,
it's international for sure.
Totally.
It is very humid, but I didn't mind the humidity. It felt like Hawaii.
Yeah.
So it didn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
Food is really heavy. People are very nice.
Good.
On that note, we met an OG listener while we were in Austin.
I saw that.
Yes.
Who was that?
That was Tripp Affleck.
Now, how was it completely coincidental?
He lives in Austin.
Oh, so you knew
I knew he lived in Austin. He's been there for 7 or 8 years.
Okay.
In fact, he's one of the smart people from Georgia, per our last discussion. But
yes, he's very smart.
I messaged him when I was sitting in my hotel after my hydrofacial. I'm like, you know what? I'm feeling kind of froggy. So I messaged him because I'm terrified to meet people.
So you've never met him before?
No.
Oh.
So I messaged him and I said, hey, producer Deb and I are in town. Just a hintity hint, hint, hint.
Yeah.
And he's like, what? Where are you? Let's meet. And he goes, I'm in Dallas. And I'm like, oh no. And he goes, but I'll be back. We can have lunch or something. I said, okay, well, we're flying out Saturday. So we'd have to do it like
quick,
Saturday. So he messaged back. He goes, let's do it. So he met us at our hotel.
Wonderful.
And we were at a restaurant and he's like, I just want to watch the golf game or whatever. And I'm like, okay, cool. So of course
the Masters.
Nope.
Oh no, that's this weekend.
It was the weekend before. I think it was the Open Invitational. It was the
Well,
the US Open just ended, but it was the week before. So whatever.
Well,
qualifier.
It's very much golf season right now.
So we asked the bartender of the one restaurant that's there. We're like, hey, can you put the golf channel on? He's like, we don't have it. And I'm like, what? What bar doesn't have?
Seriously.
So they had freaking soccer, baseball, and yet no freaking
okay with baseball,
golf.
But no golf.
No golf in Texas? That's weird to me. But anyway, we're like, all right, whatever. So we sat at the bar. The music was incredibly loud.
I hate that.
And it's the only restaurant. And we're like, we don't have time to find something else because we literally had to leave after our meeting.
You're going to the airport. Yeah.
So we're sitting there and he's Ubering in because he doesn't even really need a car. So he Ubers everywhere, which is really smart. And that is a very good thing about Austin. You can get an Uber anywhere.
Right.
Daryl's like, I was in the middle of a residential area after having a meeting. I had an Uber in 2 minutes.
Love it.
And not a shitty Uber.
Yeah.
Like a premium Uber.
An Uber, either a premium or a black.
It was amazing.
Perfect.
And so anyway, so we're sitting there and I'm like, I'm starting to get nervous. I was getting nervous. I'm like, why did I do this? Why did I plan this? No, I don't want to. Now, like, what if he hates us? You know, you just never know, right?
Yeah.
So
if you listen to the show and you listen to the show, you know what you're getting.
Exactly.
Sorry,
so he shows up.
No surprises.
We hug immediately. It's like I've known him our whole lives.
So now, correct me if I'm wrong. Does he not have a very successful podcast?
He does not.
So he's just a listener.
He's a listener.
Okay.
But he's a listener of the reason that we met was through Facebook, basically, was because he's one of the number one fans of another podcast that I used to be really into.
That's the one. And I know what you're talking about.
The Michael Mara Show.
Yeah.
And I kind of don't listen to it anymore because they're a little bit older and male, and it's just not for me.
That's fine.
You
can outgrow things.
I did.
It doesn't mean that you still don't appreciate what they do.
Oh no, and I love them when they were on regular radio a long time ago, which is why I followed that podcast for a while. Still support it, think it's great. So that's where I met him.
Got it. That's where I was going to get confused.
Yes. So we met, and hilariously, Daryl could not stop talking.
Well, okay.
He literally took over, not in a rude, terrible way. But like I was watching him in awe. I'm like, why is this man talking so much?
Like, who are you?
Like he's chatting away. Usually it's me.
Right.
And he was just like, blah, 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 and Tripp is like, blah, 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 and I was like, well,
good.
I'm here too.
But I mean, sometimes I'm glad because then it takes the pressure off.
Well, and they just had a lot of travel in common,
Good.
Because Tripp was in the military when he was younger. And so he went to all these places that Daryl had been.
Yeah.
And so they were, bonding over that.
In common.
All that
Perfect.
stuff. Obviously he wanted to know how our sister was doing. And so I gave him a little bit of an update.
Totally. Oh God.
He's like, so you're podcasting with Stephanie now, right? And I said, yes. He thought that when Paula took a step back that we stopped doing the show.
Oh, no.
Because he didn't realize that we kept going. And so I said, no. I go, it's been like a year and a half. And
it's been 2 years in March.
He goes, oh my God, I have 2 years of shows to catch up on. I go, you don't have to do that. He goes, I absolutely have to do that.
There's a lot of shows.
So I said, okay, it's your dime. So anyway, he subscribed to our YouTube immediately.
Oh, nice.
And so he's been catching up.
YouTube.
Yeah, because we're on YouTube.
Oh, okay. I'm like, we don't video.
No, we don't. But our logo is there.
Okay, got it.
And we do have people who listen.
No, I agree.
Yes.
Yeah, I just, oh my God.
Yeah.
So you the other day you posted something on one of our social medias, which was like an excerpt from the Hot Wings episode.
Yes.
And it was funny, even just a little bit, but I wanted to listen to the show again because I was like, I have thoughts about that now.
Yes,
And
I know.
I want to do it again.
We're going to do it again.
And my son, I had bought the Hot Ones has a game. Games are big, like not a board game, but a game.
Yes.
And it comes with a bunch of cards, questions that you play with your friends, and then it's called Truth or Dab. So if you tell the truth, you can honestly
Answer honestly.
Thank you. But if you refuse to answer because what you would say is too bad, then you have to eat some hot sauce with a wing, right?
Okay.
And so I bought it in December. I was thinking I was going to give it. I didn't know who I was going to give it to, but I wanted to give it as a gift to somebody, and I never did.
Oh.
So it's been sitting on my counter for all this time. And my son, in the middle of the night, woke up and well, he wasn't asleep because it's summer and he doesn't sleep and he's in between. So they need like no sleep.
They're like little skunks. They're just up all night.
Seriously. All they do is eat. And so he got up to make chips and salsa and he decided to open my hot wings game and take the hot sauce out of it.
All right.
Now my son loves hot sauce. So so the next morning I'm like, hey, I'm like, who took out my hot? He's like, Mom, it's been there for a year. I'm like, you're right.
Was it good?
And then I asked him, I was like, well, he's like, it's really hot.
Ooh.
And I was like, okay. So I decided to put it on, I cannot remember what. I think I made eggs and I love hot sauce on my eggs. And I'm like, well, I'll try it. Fuck. It was so goddamn hot.
Was it tasty though?
It did taste good, but it was hot as fuck.
Oh my God.
So I was like, we have to do this again. And you and I talked about this. In fact, the ball's in my court right now and I completely forgot.
Oh, picking the set.
About picking an actual hot wing set and using it because it is another level than what you and I did.
I'm so excited.
So we have to do it.
Daryl and I are...
But I'm almost thinking
Oh, no. Daryl and I have already... I told him, I said...
It might have to be on video.
Well, hold on.
Because there's just too much quiet.
All right, well, then let me just tell you what we talked about. Because we're going to have to powwow after the show as well.
And we both hate be on video.
We're definitely going to record it in the dining room where there's more room.
Okay. And better lighting.
We already have the 2 cameras. Okay. So now we just need to find our angle that we're okay with, both of us.
Some pre-shots.
Yes. Daryl will absolutely be hosting.
Why are we so vain?
It's because we're women and we just Stephanie,
but not everybody's this way.
I don't give a shit. I'm this way.
I get anxiety just talking about it.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Please, I can't even post a TikTok with my face.
Honestly.
My
friends do it and I'm like, God, I love this. And I think it's so cute. And then I'm like, I could never.
Do it. Do this. Do one of the things like the my red flags or my 3 green flags. Do it. You can
You've never done it. I've never seen your photo or face.
Well, hold on. I've done it.
You have?
But then I delete them.
Oh.
Because I don't put them publicly. I'll do it and I'll be like, I can't do this. No.
See, I can't even practice.
And then I'm watching it. I'm like, are our eyes 4K? Is this what I look like? Like in just walking around in the wild?
Yes. I told you. I said this last episode. Veronica's like, Stephanie, just accept it. I'm like, come to peace that I'm gross?
I know what I'm going to have to do.
I have to just squinty and swollen all the time?
No, I just have to be friends with people who have bad eyes. That's just my only option at this point. Just bad eyes. Oh my God. And good lighting wherever I go.
Well, anyway, I will hydrate for 3 days before we do it.
We're getting hydrofacials before we do it.
Something.
So anyway, Tripp is exactly who I expected him to be.
Oh, good.
He's absolutely delightful.
Oh, he's so happy.
He's such a love. And he's like, tell me about Stephanie. And I'm like, what do you want to know?
Well, he's never listened to our show.
He hasn't. So
he's
now
only listened to Paula. We're so different.
Yes. And so now I'm sure he's understanding.
Yeah.
Your personality.
Well, I mean, and I don't know, because if you like Paula's, the way that if that was your thing,
it doesn't matter.
I mean, I don't know, because Paula is dark she is dirty, and she's a different
obscene person. Yeah, she's very blue,
vulgar,
which is not. And
I'm not saying these things in a bad way.
No. But this is who
she's my sister.
She's different, and to me, I think that you're equally as dark, but you can tell a story really well. I don't know.
Paula and I are very different. Yeah. She has a really dark sense of humor.
She's also a decade younger than us.
Agreed.
She's so much younger.
Not a decade.
Well, I mean, you know what I'm saying.
6 years.
I know. You know what I'm saying.
But I know what you're saying. Yes, she's much younger.
Yeah.
She's going to turn 44 in December.
Yes.
So there you go.
There you go.
I know.
But anyway, Tripp loves the Uggs.
Okay,
he loves Producer Dub. And I think that I waited because I was so overwhelmed by the entire trip because there were so many things that I was like,
you guys did a lot in 48 hours. My God.
And I just loved everything that I did. I loved everything except for the food, but that's okay. Like their charcuterie board, because we ordered the charcuterie board for room service, and it was burnt ends, jalapeno, and cheese-filled sausage.
Oh, good God.
And some bread.
It's like Hillshire Farms.
It was very heavy.
I mean, that doesn't even sound like charcuterie to me.
So I ordered a salad, and it was fine. You know what I mean? It was
all right, well, now you know.
I do.
Now you know what to expect when you go there.
I also think, I want to try barbecue next time I go.
Oh, my God, you have
I'm totally renting a car next time. It'll be way easier.
You must. Yeah.
I want to see more I want to see more of Austin.
Well, you weren't there that long,
Not
so
enough.
I understand why you didn't.
Not long enough.
Yeah, I think you guys could have tagged on a day, and it would have been
For
better.
sure.
Stay till
Anyway,
Sunday.
yeah, I'm just glad I'm glad we didn't. But I mean, whatever. It's just
Well, now you've done it. You can check it off your list, and you don't need to be curious anymore about it.
Exactly. So Tripp gets an A+, and
Yay.
So I reached out to him a couple of days later and I said, okay, now that my brain is not swimming, I said, I'm really glad we met. You're exactly who I thought you'd be.
Yeah.
I feel like I've known you forever.
It was a really cute picture, by the way.
Yeah. And he made us do that. He goes, okay, we're all going to get our phones out and we're all going to take a picture from our own perspective.
Oh, cute.
So he goes, I'll do mine, Daryl do yours, and then Jamie, you do yours. I'm like, okay, so wait, tink, tink, tink. And of course mine was the best because I know how to pose.
Well, you're also a photographer. So
Well, I just tried. Everybody looks good, and I did it in black and white because the lighting wasn't great and everybody looks amazing.
Always.
And so,
if there's ever a photo that's on the cusp of not being good, just turn it into black and white and you're golden.
And all of a sudden you're like, oh, flawless.
It's perfect. Yeah.
It erases everything.
I wish I could go black and white in real life.
I will say this. I think we talked about this, but when Daryl's daughter was here, her son, who's 2.5, he likes to take pictures with an old school Polaroid. And because he likes to have them.
It's a thing. They sell them for kids too.
So Natalie goes, oh, we're going to do Polaroids. And we're like, okay. So we had, and nothing greater than having my picture taken. So we're sitting on the couch and we're each holding one of the children, and she takes a couple pics, and I look at them and I go, okay, I look good in this photo. This is a goddamn Polaroid.
I know, right?
Because it's not a 4K. Look at every
perfect digital,
every nook and cranny of my face.
Yes.
I'm like, these.
This is what we need all the time.
All the times.
Where's the Polaroid filter on my phone?
Oh, that'd be so great.
God, somebody.
Yeah. So anyway, it was great. Thank you, Tripp, for meeting with us. My God, it was one. It
That's
was so
lovely.
delightful.
That's so awesome.
I would meet more fans or more listeners if they were like Tripp.
Yeah, I mean, but people have also gotten killed by fans.
It's true.
In the past, so you got to be careful. Thank God he's not a killer.
No, well, he's a killer, but in a different way.
Queen.
Yeah, exactly. He's a good killer, and he's so cute. He's such
That's
a cutie
very
pie.
sweet.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Really
times.
quick before we go to some ugly and awkward moments, let's go through our celeb news really quick.
Okay.
Treat Williams died.
I know. Were we all surprised? Because one, he was 71, and two, he died by an accident.
Motorcycle.
He didn't even die of the usual heart attack, cancer.
71 is young.
Very.
And a motorcycle. Oh my God. I mean,
what a way.
I don't know what the specifics of the death were, if somebody hit him or if he crashed or what the situation is. They're not really talking about it.
Because at this point, it doesn't matter.
I had not seen one negative thing about Treat Williams ever.
No, I haven't either.
Ever.
Before or since.
Before or since. No, they're like, he was the consummate professional, delightful, loving, caring, kind. All
very,
the things.
very talented. And in recent years, he kind of did what a lot of celebrities have done, where they're embracing their age and they're not necessarily trying to remain, like to look like they're 40 anymore.
No, he was just kind of like, this is what I am now.
Yeah, he was doing Hallmark movies and stuff. Yeah. And I don't know. I used to make fun of people who watch those shows.
Oh, no, I watch them.
Now I watch them.
Oh, yeah, I love them.
What the fuck is wrong with me?
They're good.
Yeah.
And it's escapism.
It's total escapism.
Yeah.
And some of them, I have to say, are very well produced.
Because they use good actors.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they spent some money on them.
They do.
So they're not these shitty, like they used to be,
Fake snow, clearly.
Yeah, some of them are, and I can tell right away, and I stop watching them.
Yeah, you're like, no.
But give me a decent plot and, and a love story.
What, the busy career woman who has to go home to clean up her husband, her dad's estate. Meets the ranch hand.
My God. Did you see the one where she's in Napa and she's...
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah. And she starts taking over the marketing for some fledgling winery.
Yeah, whose fiance died and he has this oh my God.
They're so good.
It's so dumb.
It's dumb, but they're great.
But they're perfect for days when you don't want to do a fucking thing.
It's so
and
nice.
You want to drink wine and sit in your bed.
Especially when it's really cold outside. It's perfect. That's why Hallmark exists.
Or you're premenstrual or you're bleeding like a sieve and you're like, I'm not moving from this spot and I'm going to watch this movie.
I think I feel like weeping today. What's on? What is on?
Just start watching The Dodo.
Oh my God.
I cannot.
Seriously.
Or Pity Nation. Oh my God, where they're rescuing these pit bulls. I cannot.
It's horrible. horrible.
It's addicting. I can't stop watching it because I want to see the end. I love seeing the ends.
Well, when there's they're happy endings.
Yeah, when the dogs are like got these giant smiles on their faces, and they're like running on a 60-acre ranch.
Oh yeah, and they're like,
with like 10 other dogs.
Oh, Brutus is our favorite. We love him. He's a perfect addition,
and I'm so happy.
Kimora Lee and her children are battling with Russell Simmons in the public eye, and it is embarrassing.
It's awful. It's so messy.
Terrible. If you haven't heard about it, it's on TikTok. Actually, it's everywhere now, but it started on TikTok. Kimora came out publicly. She's like, Russell Simmons is bullying us. He wants his money because he's broke. And terrible. I'm like, he's a terrible person. And Kimora ain't all that great.
I mean, she's sloppy too.
She's kind of a bitch, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
She is friends with the Kardashians.
Oh,
very good friends.
Well, who isn't in that circle?
That's true. But yes,
she's
in the inner circle.
Yeah, and so apparently he's claiming that she took $250 million of his, and he wants it back. He's in Fiji hiding out because he doesn't want to be arrested for sexual assault.
Right.
It's just a mess. But the thing is now they've got their adult children involved, which I just can't even.
I cannot. No. Well, they're defending their mom, to be fair. And and I understand that. They
had to block him on everything.
Absolutely. God, that's just so sad.
I mean, yeah. What's sad is when it's all out there.
It just, God, right?
Does no one have PR?
It rings Kanye West. You know what I mean? It's
hardcore.
Like he can't. Who goes in the public and says these things about your family?
I just
know what I mean?
Don't these people have representatives?
They do, but if they don't listen.
I know, you're right.
I mean, and so that's what I feel like he's doing. I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
I don't know.
You need to take a page out of like Beyonce and Jay-Z's book.
Just shut the hell up.
Because they just don't say fucking anything.
They don't talk shit about anything in public.
Anything.
They don't.
They have their share of drama.
Well, they let their music speak for them.
They do. And their money.
Yes.
I think we can all understand why neither one of them want to break up that little
they're
duo.
Talk about who rules the world. They do.
Did you see that they just bought this house in Malibu?
Yes.
The most expensive house ever sold in the history of California.
It was like $50 million?
It was more than that.
Was it more than that?
Yeah, it was some insane amount. And they paid cash for it.
Well, of course they did.
They literally wrote them a check for like $200 million.
Do you take checks?
Yeah. They're like,
sure.
Yours.
Bebe Rexha. Do you know who that is?
I do. She got smacked in the head.
She got assaulted by an iPhone last night.
These people who do this shit,
Well, he got arrested.
Well, good.
Yeah, he's being arraigned today.
Who would do something like whose thought is like, I'm going to throw this phone directly at the head of this person.
I'm going to pelt her today.
Who's 15 feet from me.
She got freaking stitches, dude.
I'm telling
you. I saw the picture. Her little eyebrow.
Phones are heavy and they hurt, and you're facing a crowd.
And if a man threw it at her, I mean, this dude needs to be beaten up.
He's lucky that the crowd didn't just
turn on him.
Yeah.
Seriously. I mean, I bet the only reason he didn't is because he was so close. Security probably snatched him.
They probably did. And
so
it probably
fast.
happened in the blink of an eye. It happened so quick and it's dark and
no one
expecting
knew.
something like that. Yeah.
But she triggers people because she is not a tiny woman.
Okay.
And she cares not. She's doing just fine, by the way.
How does that trigger anybody?
I don't know if that's what triggered him. I'm just saying that she's one of those people that people love to hate because she has, a loose stomach, and she's just like, what the fuck ever, dude.
I don't care. She's confident.
She's married to, she's doing fine.
Yeah.
And she's going on tour, selling out. I mean, she's doing great.
Yeah.
I think she's pretty.
I do too.
But whatever. Anyway, so somebody smacked her, and I think it's terrible.
It is terrible.
Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello are no longer together.
Yeah, they said it was a fling.
It was a fling.
It was a Coachella fling. We understand.
I do too.
Coachella brings out,
It brings out the slut in all of us.
It does.
It really does. Kourtney Kardashian is pregnant.
Yeah, I hated that thing so bad.
Oh my God.
If it could have been any more staged.
It was awful.
She's
clearly like 5 months pregnant.
Wait. Oh, and he didn't notice? This is the woman who talks about having sex 10 times a day with him.
And how she has to create a poster for everyone to see at his concert.
I mean, it was dumb.
I'm pregnant.
It was so dumb.
What the
Travis,
hell?
I'm pregnant.
Dumb.
What I really hated is how the tabloids were like, he looked truly surprised. I'm like, fuck if he did.
He looked truly like, what are you doing, Kourtney? We discussed this.
No, I think it was all planned.
The whole thing was planned.
And honestly, Travis...
Were they filming it?
Of course.
There
they're
you go.
filming.
There you go.
Travis Barker has never been more famous now since he got with Kourtney Kardashian, and he is loving it.
The only thing that made
he walks around like he's fucking Elvis. I was like, get over it. You're a drummer for Blink-182.
The only thing that made him almost as famous as when he almost died in that
his plane crash. And that legit, I get it. That is one of those weird things.
But now he's like, everyone knows who Travis Barker is.
I mean, we knew at the time of the plane crash, we knew he was for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then that was it.
And then he went off the grid because he was recovering from his health.
And Blink-182 is, I mean, they're a good band, but they're not, you know.
And then Courtney went, you know what? I could use a little of this sauce.
They're not Metallica. Yeah, they're like not, you know, I mean, they're okay. Yeah. They have their following. They've had some good songs.
Well, they just reunited to do the thing. So they're you know.
So he is loving this whole
getting that millennial money,
all this attention that he's been getting since he got with her, and I'm just kind of over it. But
when will whatever?
I mean, that's the other thing is like I think she's like 42.
She's a little on the older side of life.
I mean, it's not like you can't have a baby at that age, especially when you have as much money as they do.
Exactly,
it makes things a lot easier. But I don't know.
Whatevs.
But Shannon Moakler had to come out and say something about it. Of course, she cannot leave that alone.
You know what? That's because they harass her.
I think they do too.
All the time about it.
Well, and I think she's like, she changed this man's shit skid underwear for 10 years when nobody gave a shit about it.
And not only that, she's like, if you think that I don't know before anyone else, you guys are high. Yeah. I have children with this man. Absolutely. Of course I knew she was pregnant.
Absolutely.
This is not a surprise to anyone.
Right? Except for you idiots who read TMZ.
I freaking love Shauna Moakler.
I do too.
I just love her so much. I think
I hate awesome. When her children, I don't know if they truly have taken sides.
I don't think
or if that's just the way
anymore.
the media spun it.
I think the beef is over.
I mean, Alabama Barker comes out all the time and saying like, Kourtney Kardashian's my best friend, and she's such a great stepmom.
I think she's just trying to trigger her mom because Shauna talks about Alabama all the time. She's so proud of her. She loves her. You know,
she's her child.
It's her baby.
Yeah,
so she's like, you know,
well, and she may have aspirations of her own in the entertainment industry, and she's no dummy. She's like, okay, let me ride this gravy train.
Well, and not only that, Shauna's probably like, do whatever you got to do. It doesn't hurt me. I know.
Fuck. Yeah,
that woman is tough.
Who, Shauna?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I know.
She doesn't give a shit about
She's
the
beautiful,
Kardashians.
by the way.
Stunning. And she's really honest about it, too. She's like, I'm getting a mommy makeover. I'm getting lip filler. Like, she does not lie.
Who cares?
She's like, my hair's falling out. I'm getting a weave. Like, she does not.
Right. But she's gorgeous.
Well, yeah.
I'm glad she does the things that make her feel good or whatever, but she's also
in the pageant industry. I think she's a coach.
Is she?
Yeah, because that's how she became famous.
She's beautiful.
She was a Miss America pageant, I think.
Got it. Yeah.
Anyway, and finally, are they or are they not Tori and Dean? No. Are they divorcing or are they not? Or are they those drama queens where they get in this huge blowout and Dean comes out and goes, after 17 loving years,
oh my God,
we are separating. We are going our separate ways. And then promptly deletes 3 hours later. And Tori's like, we are not getting a divorce.
I didn't read that part. I read that they were separating. I had noticed.
He deleted the whole announcement like 3 hours after he posted it. And then one of their PR people came out and said they are not divorcing.
Oh my! Okay,
that was yesterday.
Okay,
same.
Because the last time, first of all, I don't pay that close of attention to Tori and Dean.
I don't, but I love it.
They're a hot mess.
That's why I love it.
Yeah, they have way too many fucking kids.
Yep.
I've said things. I mean, all right. Damn it. We all know that children are wonderful blessings to this earth.
Shut up.
And they are.
Shut up.
They can't help that they were born, but her kids are fucking ugly. Every goddamn one of them.
Well,
even
Stephanie.
Stella.
Listen.
That she had her birthday party at the Beverly Hills Hotel the other day. And I'm like, was that free? Because you guys can't afford it.
I don't know.
They did it for I think the Beverly Hills Hotel did it for publicity.
PR, for sure.
Yes, they knew the paparazzi would come and take pictures. And they're like, look, we're an old ass hotel and it wouldn't kill us to be in a tabloid article.
Well, especially since the owners of the hotel have had some bad press in the past. So
lots of bad things have happened at the Beverly Hills Hotel.
Well, I mean, the owners are not American and they are known for allowing certain things to happen.
Right.
And so they're
the
like,
Beverly Hills Hotel is not what it used to be. Yes.
Yeah.
And Candy Spelling and her heyday was probably a big customer with her husband.
A lot of those celebs were.
Right. Yeah, it's old money type thing. But
anyway, yeah. So are they or aren't they? And I'm just like, well, I mean.
They are. I don't know why they want to keep the charade going.
I also thought it was really shitty to post that the day of your daughter's birthday.
Right.
After all the press.
But if you look, and that's what made me think of it, if you look at the photo, the family photo of them, they couldn't be on more opposite sides of each other.
Oh, yeah.
And Tori has really, she's embracing her independence and she's finally starting to make a little bit of money again.
Finally.
I mean, barely, but, you know.
Her kids are finally able to take care of themselves.
She needed whoever was managing her.
Yes.
Whoever her agent was, whoever they were horrible.
Yeah.
They were doing her no favors.
No, they weren't. please, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that whoever handles Khloe Kardashian is also handling Tori.
Well, she should be because you know what? That's funny because people were starting to say they look alike.
Yeah, I believe they're friends, and I believe that's what's happening. Maybe it's Kris Jenner.
It could be. It should be. Somebody needed to take care of that hot mess that she had going on.
Yeah, it was
awful. Yeah. And so I feel like whoever is handling her now is so much better.
Yes.
And she looks better when she comes off as an independent woman.
Yeah.
Stop having fucking babies and being in the hospital for anorexia.
Oh my God, I know.
Get over it. Like the whole victim thing, it's not cute.
Get some therapy.
Thank you.
And then just move on with and try.
And if you can't be stable as a human being, then just stay out of the press.
Then don't be famous.
Right.
Or as little as possible.
Exactly.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's enough of that. Really quick, I do have one ugly and awkward moment.
I know. So it's got to be an Austin thing, right?
Of course. The spa.
Okay. Go.
Okay. So I was getting ready to leave and I said, okay, I'm just going to throw on, I had this really cute summer dress. I said, I'm just going to throw this on. And then when I get there, I'll just wear that and that'll be that.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I've never done an official nice spa before.
Okay.
And so I get there and they're like, okay, go ahead and put everything in there and just here's your robe. And I was like, I didn't wear underwear.
I have to get...
So...
Why the hell would you go anywhere without wearing underwear?
Because I thought I was going to leave the dress on. I didn't know I was going to have to remove my clothing.
Yeah,
and
I'd be
put
like,
on
what
a
am I at the
robe.
doctor's office?
I didn't know. And so I'm like... Of course I didn't wear underwear.
Like when you go to get a mole removed on your cheek and they're like, all right, strip, put this on. You're like,
why? Yeah. So I'm like, oh crap, I didn't wear underwear. And because if I had underwear on, I would have taken my dress off and put the robe on, no problem. But I didn't. And I'm like, well, I have heard that people will go nude but I'm only getting a facial, not a massage. So
it's like something Allison would do. I'm sorry.
So I took the straps down and I just left the dress on under my robe because I'm like, I just can't.
I can't be fully naked.
I can't be naked under here. I know that it's probably fine.
No one's going to be opening my robe or looking right. But
and here's the other problem is the robe fit totally fine, except that I have a booty.
You do.
And so
it's slightly opened in the front.
More than comfortable.
Yeah.
If I had been naked, bush could have been
You're like,
exposed.
okay, I'm not. Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, you know what? This is probably smart. I'll leave the dress on. I'll just pull it down. And that way, when she does my facial, there's no issue.
Right.
So I'm sitting there and there's these three women when I first got there and I'm sitting in the lounge waiting and you can clearly see I'm wearing a dress.
Right.
And these three women are clearly not wearing clothes.
Right.
And they're also like a size 0.
And they have underwear on.
I'm sure. And they're sitting there. I come in with my big old... exposed. You're like, hello. And they're just like, is she wearing a dress? Is she a polygamist? Like, why is she wearing this prairie skirt?
Like Mormon.
With her robe. And I'm like, oh God. I was like, I just want to die.
I love it. I would have been like, I gotta cancel. I can't do this.
I was almost like, if I could just go back to my room for a minute, which I probably could have, honestly. I could have been like, you know what, I'll be right back and get on like big old, whatever. Oh my God. I was so like, this is just so totally me. This is exactly.
I would do this.
And it's like, I want to tell these tiny little blonde women, I'm like, this is not normal. Okay.
But it is.
I didn't wear underwear but I just couldn't explain. And then I was almost like, I wonder if they have like underwear here. Like
it's not the bowling alley where you can buy socks for $1.
Well, they have all kinds of stuff. So I'm like, maybe there's some in some of the cabinets and they have like temporary underwear.
Like, yes, we do sell these Dolce & Gabbana underwear. They're
$700.
$200 a piece.
I'm like, sold. No. But anyway, I was like, oh God. And so then when I had to go in to get the facial, she's like, all right, well, just, remove your robe and then, quickly go under the sheets. And I'm like, well, I can't take my dress off now. Now I have to leave the dress on. So I had to get under all these heated blankets with a fucking dress. And I'm like, you know what? I deserve this.
Yes.
I deserve this entire awkward experience. And I can't escape it.
There's no way.
I can't escape it. Because then when I'm finished with the facial,
locked in.
I'm awkward for the whole time I'm here now.
Oh my God.
So when I finish the facial and I'm getting up and she's like, well, excuse me, self, while you can put your robe back on. I'm like, yeah, well, obviously you don't know that I'm fully clothed. So it doesn't really
Except
matter.
for underwear.
Oh, Jesus, or a bra. So anyway, I'm putting the robe on. I'm like, well, maybe I should like tie up the dress so that I look like I'm not wearing a dress. And I'm like, stop it. It's over. Okay. Everyone here knows you're wearing a dress.
Yes.
Get over it. Oh my God.
And I'm sure they're sitting there trying to think to themselves, why would she be wearing a dress? Maybe she didn't wear underwear. Because what would be the reason otherwise?
Honestly, I don't think a lot of people were wearing underwear. I think everyone was nude.
Perhaps.
I think I was the only one getting a facial.
Well,
everybody was getting a massage.
There are a lot of reasons why you could have, I don't know.
And then she's like, you could go out into the pool area
I'm on
if you'd
my
like.
period,
I'm like, no.
and I didn't want to, I don't know.
I was so mad at myself because I would have been like, God, if I had only just wearing a goddamn underwear, I would not be in this predicament.
Would not be an issue.
And then I'd be relaxed and feeling like everyone else. But no, I had to be the odd duck again.
The ugly duck.
Jesus, complete ugly.
Ugly and awkward.
100%. Anyway, all right.
Well, it wouldn't have been an experience if you hadn't done at least one thing.
Honestly, it had to be. And it had to be the spa. So now I know. Word to the wise. Wear underwear.
Please.
So that when you disrobe, you don't feel vulnerable when you have a big butt and the robe opens.
Because, right. Or boobs. I mean,
and then the boob part fit great.
But it could be either. I'm saying I've experienced
true.
that. I'm like, okay, it's either my boobs are too big and this has got a little keyhole in the front of everything I wear.
I would much rather show off cleave than
I agree.
pussy, but that's just me. Anyway, all right. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you next time.